What if everything you know about food storage is wrong? What if people thousands of years ago solved the problem without electricity, plastic or machines? The ancient Egyptians did exactly that, and honestly, their methods still work today. Welcome back to Prepper's Survival Blueprint. If you value real survival knowledge that stands the test of time, subscribe now and, well, stay prepared without depending on fragile systems. Ancient Egypt was not just pyramids and gold, it was survival engineering. The Nile flooded every year. Crops came in waves. Famine was always one bad season away. To survive, Egyptians had to store food, not for months, but for years, sometimes generations. Their answer was the granary. Massive, elevated, sealed, built of mud brick and stone. These structures were as important as temples. Grain was life. Lose it, and civilization collapsed. Granaries were raised off the ground to stop moisture and rodents. Walls were thick to block heat. Openings were small and controlled. Airflow was intentional, not accidental. Grain was dried first, then poured in, layer by layer. This reduced spoilage and mould. Nothing was left to chance. This was survival planning at a national scale. Drying was the foundation of Egyptian food storage. The sun was their machine. Grain was harvested and spread thin under open skies. Moisture was removed before storage ever began. Without water, bacteria and mould could not thrive. Fruits were sliced and dried. Dates, figs, grapes. Meats were cut thin and sun-dried. Fish was split and laid out in the heat. Simple, effective. Salt played a powerful role. Egyptians used natural mineral salts to draw moisture out of food. The same principle used to preserve mummies. Well, it preserved meals too. Salted fish and meat could last for months, even years, if kept dry. Pests were a constant threat. Egyptians fought them with design, not poison. Storage rooms had smooth walls that insects could not climb. Entry points were narrow. Some grains were mixed with ash or natural plant powders that repelled insects. Cats guarded storehouses. Every layer added protection. Honey was not just food. It was armor. Honey never spoils. Egyptians sealed fruits and nuts in honey to block air and bacteria. This preserved calories and nutrients in a form that could last indefinitely. Oils were another barrier. Olive oil and plant oils were poured over food stored in jars. This created an oxygen seal. No air, no decay. Cooked foods, herbs, and even cheeses were protected this way. Fermentation was also understood. Bread dough was left to ferment. Beer was brewed thick and nutrient-rich. Fermentation increased shelf life and added safety. Harmful bacteria were pushed out by controlled processes. They didn't know the science. They mastered the results. Clay pots provided natural cooling. Porous clay allowed water to seep to the surface and evaporate. This evaporation pulled heat from inside the vessel. Food stored inside stayed cooler than the surrounding air. These methods are not history lessons. They are blueprints. In a world where power grids fail and supply chains break, ancient solutions shine. Dry before you store. Moisture is the enemy. Store high and sealed. Rodents and humidity come from below. Use layers of defense: drying, salt, oil, and, of course, thoughtful design. You know, you can build a modern granary with just simple materials. Think food-grade containers, elevated shelves, thick walls, or insulation to block heat, and controlled airflow. Rotate stock. Ancient Egyptians tracked harvest years, and honestly, you should too. Evaporative cooling still works in dry climates. Clay pot refrigerators can keep produce fresh without power. Honey storage still works. Salt curing still works. Fermentation still works. This is not about nostalgia. It is about resilience. Long-term food storage is no longer optional. As of December 2025, disruptions are, well, normal. Weather is unstable. Transport is fragile. Dependence is dangerous. Start small. Dry what you grow. Store what you buy. Learn one preservation skill at a time. Build systems that do not need electricity to survive. The pharaohs did not trust luck. They trusted preparation. If this knowledge helped you, subscribe to Prepper Survival Blueprint. Share this with someone who still thinks refrigeration is the only answer. The past already solved the future.